Justice. All right, mirror again. Let's go live. Talk about a couple of things. Let's go ahead and get the 5 minutes of fame in. Get my countdown timer on so we can get that in. Come in, drop your city and or state, or just say hello. All right, let's get into this 5 minutes of fame. Come in, drop your city and state, and say hello. Let me share that screen. Well, maybe I can't share the screen. Okay, I think it's over here. All right, now we're sharing. Switch this out. Hello, Jesus. Hello, everyone coming in. Jesus is coming in out of California, IA. Um, Andre says hello. Then he said LOL. I don't know what the LOL is about, but hello. Um, Andres, I think that's it. Sharon says, good evening. Good evening to you as well. Good evening, everyone coming in. Hello, nice to see you. Let's talk about the FICO 10. Let's talk about this update. What's going on with FICO 10 in December this month, right? Approximately what, 16 more days left in December. Let's see. Good evening, Dothan from I think Alabama is coming in. All right, Mark. Yeah, Mark has Compton in the house. Hello, Mark. Um, Reppin' Time. Hello, Reppin' Time says that YouTube finally on point with the notifications. Hello, Reppin' Time. So glad you're able to come in. So glad you're able to come in. Someone on Facebook says hello. I've been trying to contact me for some help. Are you the one that gave me the angry check on Facebook? If so, I don't want to help people that give me the angry, right? Thumbs up. I don't know how you've been trying to contact me, but you definitely can reach me. Send me a message on my website. Let me switch over to my website. All right, it's my website, fixmycreditandcash.com. You can contact me there, send a message. Hello, Derek. Derek from South Carolina. Hello, Derek is in the credit and cash flow room as well. Hello, Derek. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, everyone. Everyone on YouTube and on Facebook, give me the positive thumbs up, right? Let's have positivity in the house. I'm attracting people to my live stream who are creative versus complainers, who focus on prosperity versus poverty, right? And those people who are taking action, right, to improve their mental, financial, or emotional situation, right, or all of the above. So we have hello from Apollo Beach, Florida. Wow, I never heard of Apollo Beach, Florida. Glad you're tuning in. Hello, T. Ann, I think, or Tiana, or Miss Brown. I just said it that way. Um, Hello, my queen. You are the best. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Good evening, Gwen, to you too from Texas. Uh, Reppin' Time says, do I think lenders will use FICO 10? I definitely do. Right. I definitely do. As we have 1 minute, 60 seconds for the 5 minutes of fame. Hosea Hall is in the credit and cash flow room. So again, if you're new here, hit the thumbs up. Under that thumbs up should be a subscribe bell if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure by the thumbs up you hit that bell notification as well. And you hit that bell notification. If you are joining me on my YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, make sure you show some digital love. Um, YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up so people will be notified that I am live. So hit the thumbs up on that. Hello. Kendall McKnight, what a nice avatar picture from Montgomery, Alabama. Hello, Kendall from Montgomery, Alabama. Hosea asks, are AU, which he means authorized trade lines, he says, are they dead? Let me get into that as the 5 minutes of fame has ended. All right, so Hosea says, is AU trade lines, is it over with? Are they dead? Let me get these last people in. Hello, James from Philadelphia. Hello from Philadelphia. Hello from Maryland, right? Thank you all so much for the digital love and the thumbs up. Okay, all right. I see someone. I think it's on Facebook. Someone got an angry emoji up. So even if they're angry, no problem, right? Maybe they're in just a bad financial or credit situation, right? Who knows? But they could just comment. So just hit me up on my website, fixmycreditandcash.com. Do that on my website, and I will definitely send you a message as soon as I can, right? As soon as I can. I will admit that I am backed up. Have a lot of people contacting me or paying for consultations or paying for credit enhancing services. So I am a little backed up, but I will get to that as soon as I can. Marvin asks, do I remove inquiries? It has to be at least five or more. I don't do anything um, five or less. But honestly, I'm not doing a whole lot in credit right now. I'm just taking a mental break and doing some consultings and trying to respond to some emails, right? I may get back into that, but I'm going to have a limited list of people that I work with because I'm more involved now into the crypto world and crypto trading. It's not as much as credit consultation anymore, but I still do consultations, the hands-on credit work. They just have to be a client that, again, certain qualifications will have to meet. And if I believe that you will be a client that we can work well together, then I will take you on so we can work one-on-one. We can work together, right, to improve your credit situation because I do know that FICO 10 is in effect the second phase this year. Little Rock, Mississippi is in the house. Okay, I think that's Mississippi. I've never heard of Little Rock, Mississippi. Um, Hello, Quinn. Do you recommend Credit Secrets book? I don't recommend any books for credit repair. I don't because if people cannot comprehend what the books are saying or stating for them to do, they still won't get the results. So I really don't make a lot of recommendations. Another thing I don't do is promote do it yourself credit repair because those template letters that are used by thousands and thousands of people, right, are automatically um, scanned and picked up by eOscar, right? A lot of people don't understand that in order to be effective with credit consultation or credit repair or credit restoration, you have to customize. So people that say I purchased something because you recommended it, I didn't necessarily recommend it, right? I educated, I gave people small educational clips on it, broke down some of what I thought, but I do that with a lot of books, right? I do that with a lot of books. I did that with Conspiracy of Credit. And Conspiracy of Credit wasn't even discussing credit repair at all. It was discussing the move of credit and more of the technology RFID chips that we are moving to. So I did a book review on Conspiracy of Credit um, about the RFID chips and the coming of digital money, right? The coming of digital money. So this is what the Conspiracy of Credit book is talking about. So when people say I recommend things, I don't recommend. I educate people. I also talk about Bitcoin and Black America, right? But I also tell people going back to do-it-yourself credit repair and even books about credit. you have to know, you have to have the knowledge of how to customize your own credit, right? These do it yourself credit products or these template letters that thousands of people have exposure to and are using. If you don't know how to customize that to you and fit your situation, right? For example, two people can have a Bank of America charge off account, right? Two people can have a Bank of America charge off account. However, the balances can be different. The dates of the charge off can differ, will differ, right? And so, and account numbers will be different. So there's no one size fit all. And the credit repair, you have to know how to analyze that and to customize it to fit your situation. And so that's why a lot of do-it-yourself or credit repair booklets are not very effective for people. Thank you so much. He says everyone hit the like button. Hello, my friend Murtis, checking in from Jackson, Mississippi. Hello from Mississippi. Mark says, Queen, your you stock is up. Queen, you stock is up. Mark, I don't really know what that means. Can you elaborate on that for me? Um, okay, Arkansas, Little Rick. I think you mean Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. Hello. Springfield, Massachusetts. Hello. Um, all right, so let's get into FICO 10 because people are saying I'm about to start selling my trade line. What's your thoughts? And as I get one more shout out, Newton County, okay, Newton County, Miss Brown. So, Little Rock, Mississippi from Newton County, okay, okay, never heard of that. But AU is over. This is the thing, people. This is the thing. Jimbo says he started selling his trade line. What's the deal with that? Jimbo, I think the most recent information about AU trade lines and FICO 10 is that definitely need to purchase AU trade lines that's 2 years or older, right? Two years or older. Authorized users AU trade line because FICO 10 will now look at your credit score or look at your credit profile, um, 2 years in debt, right? Or from 2 years, right? And so, and so this is the thing, right? I heard someone share with me on Facebook, someone give an update about the FICO 10 and to invest in AU trade lines that are at least 2 years or older, right? Of age. Let me tell you why that won't make big difference. Why that would not make a big difference. Because number one, on your credit profile, once you have AU trade lines added on, it's going to identify that you are authorized user on this trade line, right? So this is something that banks and lenders will be able to see, and it's going to report that way on your credit report. It's going to show that you are not the primary account holder. That's number one. Number two, will a 2 year old or older trade line increase your credit score? It could very well, right? However, there will be people with high credit scores who still will not get approved for prime lending. Let me say that again. There will be people that have high credit scores who still will not be approved for prime lending or lending where you have the best interest rates, low interest rate, mortgage interest rates now are 1%, 2%, right? Credit cards offer now are at 0%, or they have been for a long time. And what I mean by subprime credit scores, that means credit scores where you have a 720 credit score or higher. So even though you can have a high credit scores, when creditors pull your credit report is going to show number one that you are an authorized user on this account. This is not your primary account. And number two, it is lenders still will take into consideration and calculation of your 2 year credit transactions and historical behaviors within a 2 year period. See, what has happened with FICO 10 and FICO 10T, that which stands for trending, right, is that currently under the FICO 8 or 2, 3, or 5 for mortgage lending, and some issues or instances, FICO 9 if you're getting credit cards lending, FICO 8 for credit cards and automobile, right? Currently, they look at a 30-day snapshot, right? A 30-day snapshot, and they are seeing what activity you've done within 30 days or a 30-day window. And so, whatever your spending habits, whatever your transactions, whenever you went delinquent on a card or an account, right? Uh, it is not seen currently, right? Well, even if you have a high credit score and your 2 year pattern of high spending, your debt to income ratio reporting on your credit report is still high, they could still not approve you for lending or loans. And so I'm telling people this because I don't want you to go out and spend thousands of dollars getting trade lines added to your credit report, right? And you're still not going to get approved because the very first phase of FICO 10 begin in the summer and in July. And in this phase, right, in this phase of FICO 10, the resilience score was added to your, or the resilience score was being in consideration for approved for lending. Your resilience score, right? If you have an account with myfico.com, you can see your resilience score. And the resilience score simply means what is your income status, right? What your income status is, what's the probability that your job will be in existence through this recession, or as many call it, the Great Depression 2.0, right? Are you working in a job that will produce income in the future so that you can make good on this loan, right? And what's your current income to debt ratio status? So lenders will not just approve you because you have a high score. Your resilience score is going to come into play. Your debt to income ratio, any existing debt that you have now, installment debts are going to weigh heavier than they have in the past. What are installment debts? Installment debts are things like personal loans, vehicle loans, student loans. So you have a lot of people, for example, that maybe their student loans may be in deferment, right? And they're not paying it. But that student loan amount, that debt ratio, even though it may not be showing as a late payment, that debt ratio will still affect the outcome of you being approved or not approved for a loan and or a credit card, right? Account. And so primary trade line, you have to listen very closely at what people are saying, right? Not get excited about how they're saying it, but listen at what they are saying. Yes, it's true. Adding a primary trade line should give you a higher credit score. However, that does not mean approval. If your debt ratio reporting is too high on your installment loans, which again can be a mortgage, personal loan, vehicle loans, student loans, right? Those four things are installment loans. Now you take that in consideration with your credit card debt. And now I'll now see under this current model or scoring system, if you pay down your credit card debt, it would give you a higher credit score. And that's because they want some incentives to help people or to motivate people to pay off or down credit cards, because credit cards is unsecured debt, right? It's called revolving credit versus installment credit. because that account always revolve. You pay it down, you can reuse it, recycle it. And so because credit cards have little repercussions, unlike student loans, unlike a vehicle loan, or unlike a house loan, right, which can be repoed if you don't pay or repossessed, or it can be foreclosed on a house if you don't pay. There's no collateral to credit cards. And so, in order to give people incentives to keep credit card balances low, you can have a higher credit score if you have a low ratio, debt to ratio on your credit card balances, right? But now all of your debt will be calculated on a higher terms versus just your credit card debts, right? So people that have high student loan debt or high vehicle debt could see their credit scores drop 20 to 40 points. So even with a high credit scores, if you have a high debt ratio reporting, you still can get denied, or you still would not qualify for subprime interest rates, right? Adrian says, what should you do if you get an update? An update that your credit score has dropped. I guess I'm assuming that's what you're asking me. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you so much. If you get an update that your credit scores drop, the very first thing you need to analyze is your 2 year history on your credit profile. Make sure that you don't have any negatives within the last 2 years, because at this point, and this is where FICO 10 is changing the game, right? At this point, any negatives within a 2 year history on your credit report is calculated, right, into your credit score, right? It's like a math algorithm. It's calculated into your credit score. However, your 2 year history can is not being viewed or seen right now to get you approved for lending. However, when this second phase of FICO 10 comes into play, a banker, a creditor will be able to look at you for a 2 year history. Let me say it this way, right? Let's say you are dating someone, right? You start dating someone, you all are getting to know one another. You have no background of this person, no prior knowledge, right? Someone you met randomly, not through friends or family members. So, no one to give you a reference on this person. And you've been dating this person for 2 months, maybe 30 days, 60 days. Well, now you have the reference of their behavior within 30 days or 60 days, right? However, if you met this person through a friend or family member that knew them for at least 2 years, this person can give you a whole 2 year backdrop, or an entire 2 year um, rundown, right, of this person, who they are, and some of their behaviors. Well, this is what the banks are going to be able to see with you. So it doesn't matter if you add a 2 year old or a two age trade line to your credit report and you have a high score, more things are going to be added or looked at or viewed from a 2 year in depth perspective versus a 30-day snapshot, if you will or will not be able to qualify for funding. So what do you do? Right? What do you do? Well, let's say you unfortunately you one of the 40 million Americans whose credit score, let me see, read some of these comments. Even with utilization rate, you dropping 30 to 40 points. Uh, 2 year history has Jesus, why does 2 year history have you screwed? And Adrian says, what should you do to file a dispute? I don't understand what you're asking me. What should you do to file a dispute? What is this dispute for? Is it for a collection? Is it for a charge off? Is it for late payment? Is it for inquiry removal? And this is not something that I just give free advice or tell people how to dispute things. People invest in my credit consulting services to get those type of questions answered, right? This channel is for education, not the to do that people invest in my credit consulting to do for them. But so I don't know. That's a very broad question. What do you do to file a dispute? What I can tell you is that you do not want to file a dispute online, right? You want to have a history, a tracking um, record that you did mail your dispute off, preferably in affidavit form, and you want to get that through a through the certified receipt through the USPS, so you can know when it's delivered, what date it was delivered, and proof that it was delivered. Right. So that's as much as I can tell you about disputing. Right. And you definitely want to dispute items within a 2 year window because those are the items that's being calculated within your credit score. You have some people, for example, that states that a 10-year-old collection is still reported on my credit report. Well, that collection is no longer calculating into your um, credit score anyway, right? So it's not hurting or helping your credit. And at that point, it's no reason to dispute that, you know. It's really no reason because it's not doing any damage to your credit report unless you are working with someone, maybe a home, you're trying to purchase a home, and those lenders have informed you that they would like for you to get that collection taken care of. Then you may want to go and delete it off of your credit report. But at this point in time, things that are 10 years old, age of older, are not affecting, or even 5 years is not affecting the outcome of your credit score. Is no longer being calculated in. And those are some of the mistakes people make, especially with do-it-yourself credit repair, because they'll get a template letter, and everything that they see negative on their credit report, they will write that account number in, and and try to dispute it. And at this point, you could be poking a sleeping bear, right? Because it's no longer calculating, it's not damaging you, and now you've just awakened a dormant, dead account, right? And so, if it's still within the statute of limitations to collect from you, now you could be hearing from collectors, trying to not only collect that debt, right, but now you can update the most recent activity, and you can actually drop your credit score because now updating the recent activity will start the calculation time frame back into your credit score. All right. So, what if someone has a good 2 year payment history but has a charge off collection 3, 4 years old? Should they go ahead and pay off the charge off? If it's still under the statute of limitations of your state, just know a debtor, whether it's reporting on your credit report or not, still can uh, pursue to collect from you. They still can take you to court, right? The statute of limitations, I don't have that list in front of me, but it varies by states, right? Some states are 3 years, some states are 4 or 5 years, some states are 10 or 15 years, right? So that varies by state. So even if it's not showing on your credit report, those creditors or the banks or the debtors or debt collectors can still pursue you for the debt legally in court if you did not follow the proper procedures of asking for debt validation, right? To get a personal loan will be as difficult as getting a home. Uh, I had my cards on auto pay, took them off and missed a payment last year. I'm still getting some offer though. PenFed sent me an approval for a credit card and my credit union a holiday loan. Okay, good deal. And that late payment should stop calculating in. You said it was last year of 2021 of this year, right? Late payments is not a very easy. It's very challenging to get those reverse off credit reports. I have done it; it has been done, but it's just as challenging as to get a bankruptcy removed, in my opinion. Simply because when you have an account that has one bad mark or one late payment, but it has numerous years or numerous credits for paying on time and good payment history, right? Um, then it's challenging or difficult to get that decision reversed to where it's not showing that is that one late payment of getting reversed or proving that it's not late. So it is always good to try to have auto pay. And then sometimes a lot of people just have a lot of credit cards, right? And they decide to use a credit card that they have not utilized or used in a long time. And they say, "Oh, let me use this credit card because I don't want the account closed, right? Or I don't, I want to keep it in good standing." And they will use the credit card and just really forget about that they used the credit card because they haven't used it in months, right? And they may forget to render in or send a payment. So you have to be careful. You have to be. It takes a lot of discipline and being on task of your credit cards because a late payment, for example, with a credit score that's over a 720, one late payment could drop your credit score by as much as 60 points if you have a credit score over 720, right? Which puts you in a subprime lending category. So you definitely want to stay on top of that. And if you have one late payment reporting, you could always call your credit card companies. And I'm not saying this is going to work every time or all the time, because most credit card companies will inform you that under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right, once they've reported to the Fair Credit Reporting Act that you were late, legally they cannot reverse that, right? Especially if you were late. But sometimes if you were good customers, you can ask in goodwill or in good faith not to just get the late payment fees removed, but to get the late payment reversed, right? Um, and updated to paid as agreed, never late. That's reporting on your credit report. So it never hurts to ask. Sometimes people get results with that, and sometimes they don't. Or I'm taking time with consulting. Thanks, time. I am still doing consulting. You can go to my website, fixmycreditandcash.com. It's a small one-time investment to analyze and look at your and view your credit report, give you the steps and procedures that you need to get back on track to good credit. So let me walk you through this. You will go to the tab that's on my website, fixmycreditandcash.com, that reads credit help. Scroll all the way down to custom credit analysis. This is customized just for you, a custom plan, right? Because everyone has a different profile, and it's a 125 small investment. You submit your payment here. Please include your name and email address, right, in the notes section once you submit payment, because I need to know how to contact you via email. That's step two. Step three is to pull your full tri-merge. That means three credit report through Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You will need the premium membership, right? They give you options. The premium membership, you select on this link, and then you have to email me back your login information, right? Which is your username and password. And this is my email address. And please email this. Do not text it. When you email it, I can simply copy and paste it from my email. I cannot copy and paste from a text message, right? So I have to tell people to follow the instructions to the T and follow them very carefully. My email address is ld@fixmycreditandcash.com, right? Creditandcash.com. So just know that although you can get a late payment fee waived, does not mean it's going to reverse being reported on your credit report. It's a big difference in getting that $30 late fee waived and getting the late payment that's reported on your credit report taken off. Those are two different things. So not the same thing. You can get a late fee waived, right? They can refund you back the $30 or $35, and you still have the late payment reported on your credit report. So that's that. Just know adding primary trade lines, some truth to it, but not all the truth, right? Can very well give you a higher credit score, but you can still get denied because they will still take into consideration your debt ratio of all debts, right? Still take into consideration your 2 year history, credit transactions, and still take into consideration your resilience score, which is the probability of you continuing to have a job during these times, and your income ability to repay that debt if they were to approve you, right? All right, the second topic of discussion is on the new, drum roll please, Bitcoin debit card, right? The new Bitcoin debit card. Look at this, New York, and Bitcoin's price right now is $19,432, right? Um, so everything is taking a little dip right now. Bitcoin is in negative 0.32 as of the time of this recording. But New York's Quantic becomes first U.S. bank. Let me see how this is showing. Let me switch this over. Um, okay. Becomes the first U.S. bank to offer Bitcoin's reward debit card, right? New York based Quantic Bank has become the first FDIC. Wow, Bitcoin is here to stay. It's a top asset, right? Not currency, it's an asset. So this is FDIC approved, the first FDIC insured financial institution to launch a Bitcoin rewards checking program, right? You gotta love that. Announced Tuesday, the program includes Bitcoin rewards debit card. Listen at this, 1.5% back, a mobile app, access to ATM, and mobile payments like Google Pay and Apple Pay. This is a big breakthrough, right? This is a big breakthrough. And so the bank had to receive approval from the U.S. Office of the Controller, the OCC. I mean, Comptroller of the Currency, the OCC. In July, the OCC issued a letter enabling nationally chartered banks in the United States to provide custody services for cryptocurrency, right? And so this is great news to let you know that Bitcoin is a top asset. More is here to stay, and it's legit. This is not your 2017 Bitcoin or 2018 Bitcoin, right? So customers at Quantic customers, Bitcoin will be custodied by the crypto asset NYDIG, which just Scoop, Quantis' former chief innovation officer, served as the head of bank solution, major banking software and payments technology provider. FIS will build a mobile app with Quantic to track Bitcoin rewards in the second quarter of 2021. So, people, this is coming in the second quarter of 2021. So that'll be around April. This is the first time any bank, right, or any banking system has done anything with Bitcoin that is consumer facing. So this is big news, right? And also, if you don't know, Mass Mutual just purchased 100 million in Bitcoins. So customers will be able to hold their Bitcoin. This is a great thing, right? Because now you have a FDIC bank that you can hold your Bitcoin. So for all the people that would have concerns about their Bitcoin being lost or stolen, this is great news. So I don't know all the intricate details of what will qualify you to do banking with this bank, right? I will do some more research on that. This is a very small bank, right? It has 1.4 billion in assets, and so that's a like less than a whole percent of JP Morgan, the size of JP Morgan, right? And so, but the bank, again, has pivoted, offering bank accounts to crypto firms to try to bring Bitcoin to the masses, right? Um, and so this is big news. This is big news, big thing. And I will keep you all more up to date with those. So let me read some of these questions. If a debt has fallen off your credit report due to SOL, is that debt still owed by the original creditor? If the answer is yes, can your services reverse those results of having you to pay that debt. What is SOL? I don't know what SOL is, so just let me know. Bad Up says you have to be consistent with getting late payments removed. Also, your account, right? And make sure you're not getting, again, the interest rates of late payments removed. That's pretty easy. If you have been a good paying customer and they're showing in 2 or 3 years you was one time late and they charge assess you a late fee, right? Getting that late fee waived is easy. That's usually easy for good standing customers. Getting that late payment reversed or removed from your credit card is the hard part. That's the challenging part. Jimbo says, Queens, do closed or revolving accounts? Is it calculated into my account age? Accounts that are closed, do closed revolving accounts. I'm assuming you're saying like closed credit cards or closed department stores account. Are they will they calculate into your age? No, they will not. Once those accounts are closed, and no further or future payment history is showing, then app now it will calculate if it's within a 2 year history what you've done up to this point, right? So let's say, for example, you had an account, a Visa card, last year, right? And you paid in good standing of 2020, and the account was closed, let's say November of this year. Well, your payments from last year to November is current will be currently calculated, right? But a closed account does not it will not keep your account or your credit score still at a high rating as if that account was open. So once that account is closed, your credit score could very well possible take a dip because having a closed account is stopping or ending the payment history, and your payment history calculates up to 35 percentage of your credit score. So you want to keep the accounts open. However, some people accounts have been closed involuntary, right? Meaning it was not their decision. The bank or company did it on their own. And if that happened, or the merchant or department store card, right? There's nothing you can do with it, but you will have the good payment history reporting. But after 2 years, it will fall off and it will no longer be calculated. So it's always good to keep those accounts open because even when it closes, whether it's voluntary or involuntary, a closed account will lower your credit score, right? Uh, My daughter's now addicted to your channels. Well, myself, you will be hearing from us soon. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you all are subscribers and regular viewers of the channels, right? Bitcoins are FDIC. Yes, that FDIC backing. Uh, Black Ear Podcast said, I don't think that's good. Yeah, cryptocurrency is what the world will be dealing with in 2021 is digital money. Um, oh, SOL, statute of limitations. So let me go back to that question. Right, Mark. Yeah, SOL could have meant something else when you're SOL. So you're right. I didn't know exactly what you were saying with that. Um, how many credit cards should I have to move my score up? One secure credit card. I have two student loans with 22 years, no negatives. Those student loans with 22 years have definitely, with no negatives, have definitely helped your credit score. It's definitely here. That student loans, good payment history is definitely helping your credit score. Make sure you're paying those balances down as much as and as fast as you can. However, having a secured credit card on your credit report or profile will keep your credit score in what is called subprime category, meaning a 680 credit score or lower. That's why I always recommend to people do not get secured credit cards, right? Because that will keep you as a subprime lender. And What that means is you won't get those prime rates that a lot of people get, and you won't get over, or it'd be difficult to get over that 720 credit score, right? And you'll be profiled. You'll be profiled as a subprime lender, so you won't get the better interest rates or the lower interest rates that's available on the market. The only time I recommend that people and get a secure credit card that's trying to use it as a strategy to add maybe 20 or 30 points higher to their credit score, if it's a secure credit card that will graduate with you. And what I mean by that, for example, Navy Federal is a program that has secure credit cards, but they will graduate you to unsecured credit cards. So if you're not with a company that has those steps process, it's doing you more hurt, right, than help to have secure credit scores reporting on your credit profile. A lot of them are low credit limit as well, right? And again, it just puts you just like getting or applying for credit cards at a certain zip code or area code, right? Um, it will automatically put you in a risk category if you are in a zip code in which people are low income and on average have lower credit scores than what you would be if you were in a zip code area that people had higher income and higher credit scores. And so you're really categorized as a low risk user by having a secure card on your credit report. Thank you so much, Jimbo, for the 4.99 super chat. I appreciate you supporting me and supporting the channel. So, an option of not having those secure credit cards is to get these primary trade lines on your credit report. Keep these trade lines for at least 3 months, 90 days or more. It will be $5,000. It is yours. You do have to purchase some of the items on there on those websites. Now, this is the chess move, and this is another $5,000 um, credit line. So this will be two, right? $5,000 credit line. And what happens is, being that you have no negatives reporting, right? Because again, you cannot add sugar onto shit, right? You can't have AU trade lines, for example, and you have negatives within the last 2 years. It's like adding sugar onto shit, right? So even AU trade lines will not help in that situation. And again, just because you have a higher credit score does not mean you will get approval with AU trade lines, because it's a 2 year look. It's looking at your spending habits, it's looking at your activity, and it's looking at your debt ratio, or banks or lenders are. So then, right, Black Air Production said it's like adding new furniture and dirty house, or it's like adding some tire shine to a dirty car, right? You spray some armor all on it or some tire shine, and the vehicle has not even been washed. That's what adding AU trade lines to a dirty credit profile is, right? Does not help. Does not help at all. Or to make it even more come to home is like spraying some type of perfume, right, to you, and you haven't bathed. So, right, you can't make ugly pretty no days of the week, right? So you have to fix that ugly first. You have to fix that ugly first. And then to get that pretty credit, you need primary trade lines. So now, after 90 days of purchasing these products and paying them on time and not being negative with the account, now you go to apply for a major credit card, a Visa, a MasterCard, American Express, or Discover, right? And now it will mirror your department store credit card limits that's reporting from these two trade lines. What I mean by mirror that, if it's showing that you have managed these $5,000 department store credit cards well, then Visa and MasterCard and Discover, right, being that you have no negatives, would then match you with normally a $5,000 matching credit limit. That beats secure credit cards all day of having $500 credit limit or $1,000. Because if you have a secured credit card and you have a 500 or $1,000 credit limit, even when you go to apply for an unsecured credit card, even if you get approved, they're only going to approve you for the highest credit limit that, and they're only going to mirror the high credit limit that you currently have reported, because that's what you are showing that you can handle responsibly. So another advantage, or another uh, great reason to have these two $5,000 credit limit, excuse me, so, is that now it lowers your overall debt ratio that's reporting on your credit profile. So if you added $10,000 of department store credit limits, right? You're keeping those balances, let's say 10% or less, right? Which be $500 or less on each department store card every month, $500 or less. Now that helps your overall debt ratio to decrease on your credit profile, right? And old closed accounts be removed from your credit report? Again, as I said about old closed accounts, even though it will not calculate until future positive credit payment history, right? And although closing that account may give you a temporary dip in your credit score, you still have positive history reporting. So if you remove those accounts altogether, it may lower your score even more, because now that positive history, the little positive history that was reporting, is no longer reporting at all. And so if you have a very thin credit profile and you don't have many credit cards on your credit report, or you don't have aged credit cards, right, already reporting on your credit profile, like if, so for example, that closed account is 3 years old, but you have three or four credit cards that are 5 or 6 years old. Well, removing it altogether may not damage your score much. But if you have a credit profile where you have a lot of newly aged credit accounts, and you have some payment history that's still reporting that's over a year old, then removing that altogether could lower your credit score even more, right? Um, Jake Ripper says, so should I close my secure credit cards at the oldest card? I have reporting, but I do have Navy Federal. No, if you already have it on there, I would not close it, especially because of your payment history. If it's the oldest card that you have reporting, I definitely will leave it as is, because that's your payment history. You said you do have a Navy Federal 25K as well. So just keep everything like it is, right? Just keep everything like it is, because closing it will lower your credit score, right? Uh, I have one of the trade lines already, which I have a couple months now. How soon should I apply for new codes direct? You can apply for, if you already have one already reporting, it should not, it should help you to go ahead and apply for new codes direct, because that's another $5,000 trade line that will be reporting. You all are asking credit consulting questions. It's not why I came on. It's kind of like free services at this point, but let me go. Let me try to answer this. If a debt has fallen off due to the statute of limitation, will I still have to pay the debt due to the original creditor? Due to the original, if the debt has fallen off due to the statute of limitations, would I still have to pay that debt due to the original creditor? Can your credit can your credit services reverse the payment in any way? Um, if the debt has fallen off of your credit report, or is no longer calculating in because it's older than 2 years, can the creditor still pursue you after it has passed the statute of limitations? Yes, they can. What can you do? Right? You can know the laws under the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. First, you have to know what are the statute of limitations of your estate. Then you will have to use the laws of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, right? Stating that it has passed the statute of limitations. Because the reason why the creditor can still original creditor and not the debt collector can still pursue you is if the debt was sold or transitioned back to the original creditor. If it was transitioned back and dropped by the debt collector from the original creditor, then you have to make sure of when that debt transitioned back to the original creditor, right? And what the statute of limitations are in your state. And you have to communicate with them via writing with that law, with the statute of limitations, right? Not denying that you owe, right? But under the Fair Credit, the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act, you need to, and you may want to research the Fair Credit Billing Act, right? If it's a credit card debt. But your first step is to make sure that it has passed through statute of limitations in your state, because if it has not, then yes, the original creditor can always pursue, especially if you ignored the request when the debt was sold to the debt collector for your 30-day time period to validate the debt, right? Um, Next question, Queen. You explain to everyone Advantage score versus your FICO score. Uh, I don't know what Advantage score is. I know what Vantage score is, and I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, the Vantage score versus your FICO. Your Vantage scores are scores that you would see on mint.com, for example, or Credit Karma. Your Vantage score is not used by banks and lenders, or not used by most banks and lenders. Your FICO score, Fair Isaac Corporation, is what your banks and lenders, right, will use. It's and the FICO score is made up of different FICO scores. You don't have just one FICO score. For example, when you're trying to get approved for a mortgage, you have FICO 2, 3, and 5 in most cases. I'm trying to get approved for a vehicle will be FICO 8, and some credit cards will be FICO 8, and then some credit tours or credit cards will use FICO 9. So the main difference is the Vantage scores calculate your credit age. Your FICO score calculates your payment history, right? And so those are different calculations. So that's why sometimes when credit cards accounts close, if you're using services like Mint or Credit Karma, you will see a bigger drop or decrease in your Vantage score because it looks at the credit age, right, and not the payment history. But your FICO score, your true FICO score, will not take and oftentimes as big as dip as your Vantage score will. So a lot of times, for example, when people want to get approved for lending, they would say, "Well, my Credit Karma score shows that I'm at a 780." And when you actually get into the banks, right, they would say, "Well, your credit score is a 690," right, because they're using FICO. So you can get your FICO score and at www.fico.com. You just want to know your true FICO score. I do still recommend that people use Credit Karma because it's free and it updates or monitors your credit scores every 7 days. However, Credit Karma only will provide you with Equifax and TransUnion. If you want to know your third credit agency credit profile, this will be FICO Score 2. I think it's FICO 8 credit score reporting. I think it's FICO 8 or FICO 9, one of them. Credit score reporting, you can go to Experian.com. However, they will not provide you with Equifax or TransUnion, right? Um, and so the Vantage, okay, thank you, Reppin. Time said Vantage score has been around since 2006. FICO has been around since 1950. So that says a lot within itself. Um, can you explain Metro 2 reporting? I have a video on that. I'd really Don't I will share the link with you to as uh, to my video that I made breaking down Metro 2 reporting. Uh, Let me see, can I find that link? All right, so I have three videos on Metro 2 reporting, and I'm going to share the link to all three of those videos, and you definitely can go and watch it at your leisure. So I'll copy and paste those links for you. Um, what is Metro 2 dispute compliance reporting to get deletions? So I'll share the links with you to that, and you can go back and watch it on your at your leisure. So that's one link. It's also why do-it-yourself credit repair doesn't work and Metro 2 reporting. Um, so that's my third link. That's the third link. All right, so I hope those will help you out. Everyone, yeah, hit that like button. And I thank you, She Loves Cam, for that $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Okay, Martin says Experian use FICO 8. Thank you, Martin, because my brain, man, I read my new book that I read. I'm reading today. Just have I had to take mental break. I don't have the book in front of me, but it's a very intellectual book about the upcoming change or to digital money that I may do. So, with that being said, I think I've answered all my questions. Thank you all for hitting that like button. And let me see what this Coinbase notification that I'm receiving. Okay. So, all right, just checking my crypto status. And just know people, credit and cash flow, understand the digital system, the IMF do not want, right, to go back to the um, gold and silver backing of the dollar. They don't want to go back to when gold and silver could be converted into, or when cash or currency could use on the gold and silver exchange rate. However, physical silver and silver actually outperformed gold this year. Outperformed gold. So I'm going to say this and I'm going to end. So you can also go on my website and get the silver stacking report. It's estimated that silver will continue to outperform gold by as much as 400%, right? A lot of this digital money and digital transfer by the IMF. The IMF does not want to return back to the gold and silver standard, right? They want crypto. They want crypto. And so the silver prices are set to overtake gold. That's because things like the RFID chips, um, the technology that physical silver has to hold, right? In 2000, I think silver hit its highest at $50 an ounce. So on my homepage of my silver stacking report, you definitely want to invest in there for $35 so you can know what silver to invest in. I think right now, let me Google to make sure. The spot price for silver is Silver spot price is $24, right? For an ounce of silver. So again, it is set $24 to outperform gold. And this is not just because of the returning to the gold and silver standard, right? Because whenever there's a currency reset, gold and silver will be used to reset the currency. This is physical gold and silver, right? Not ETF. But silver is set to outshine gold. It's very affordable right now. You can go on my website, fixmycreditandcash.com, and get that silver stacking report. I have it strolling down on the bottom. Uh, and just know that you can't go wrong if you have the extra income to convert your dollars into silver and or cryptocurrency, right? So, last question, Joseph asks, will the new FICO 10 reporting affect companies that are doing soft pulls over trade lines for those substandards credit? Affect companies that are doing soft pulls? I don't see how FICO 10 will affect individuals. I don't see, I really don't understand your questioning, but I don't see how it can affect companies that are doing soft pulls to open trade lines for those with substandard credit. You may came in at the end of this, Joseph, but I explained that how even adding trade lines with the new FICO 10, even though it might increase your credit score, it will not guarantee you funding. So you might want to go back and watch the beginning of this. Thank you so much, Tiana Brown, for my queen, for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate everyone that donated to the super chat, donated to the channel, and hit the like button, right? Nothing in life is free, right? And so thank you for participating, hitting the like button. And even if you hit the don't like button, that's cool with me too, because it still helps my algorithm and notify people that I'm live, right? No harm, no foul. Yep, silver will outshine gold. I told you all too that FICO 10 this year was coming. And so if you have subprime credit, the best thing to do, in my humble opinion, is to get those primary trade lines, get your own primary trade lines, fix up your bad credit within the last 2 years, right? Get those negative derogatory accounts removed. And do understand that with the FICO 10 error here in the second phase within 16 days, scheduled to occur in December, that it is taking the credit agencies longer and is much more challenging to get negative accounts deleted off your credit report as it was before this time and this era, right? Credit agencies are bombarded with people that's trying to fix their credit. They will be even more bombarded in January when you have people that may have negative accounts reporting, maybe their mortgages, for mortgage forbearance was up under the CARES Act, right? A lot of evictions, those will hit their credit reports. A lot of repossession of vehicles, those will hit their credit reports. A lot of high balance credit cards because they're using their credit cards right now just to get essential goods and services. So there may be some people with a lot of high debt ratio, and credit cards is their only solution right now to get essential items such as groceries and gas, or even to pay utilities. Some people are using credit cards right now to rent. So what do I recommend, right? If you don't have negative accounts on your credit report, but you have high debt ratio and you need some extra income or cash flow coming in to pay down the debt, these are the people that I recommend a home-based business, right? The home-based business where you can work from home. We may go through another government lockdown, right? So this is for um, people who want to earn extra income working right from the convenience of your home. And you will be assisting and helping people with their finances in the financial sector. You're helping people with their taxes. You do know that President Trump introduced the paycheck, um, the tax, the PP, paycheck protection. I don't know, but it was the tax holiday by President Trump. A lot of federal employees had less taxes taken out, right? nothing that they could opt out of on their own. But now when January hits and that ends, they will have 26% more taxes on top of that, which will drastically decrease their take home pay. And they will need this home based business in order to keep their paycheck at its regular paycheck, uh, and to be able to adjust those taxes, right, from being heavily hit with being taxed out of their paycheck. So go to this website, how to shift your income.com. After you go to that website, then hit me up, send me an email on my website, fixmycreditandcash.com, right? And let me know that you want more information about the home based business. Now, I also know that the Fed, the federal government, will be meeting. Jerome Powell will speak on Wednesday. And I read this article before I logged on today that the federal could disappoint markets on Wednesday, right? So definitely look out for that. The utility of AG. Mark, what are you talking about? Utility of AG? I don't know what you're talking about. But I read this article today. The Fed could disappoint markets on Wednesday, with even if it keeps a super dovish, right? A dovish tone. Um, That's like a dove, right? A dovish tone, not dovish, I'm sorry, a dovish tone. So it's saying even though it will, the tonality will be very dovish, or dovish, I'm sorry, dovish, get that word, and not a aggressive tone, but a very passive and dovish tone will come off, like the Bible says, as peaceful as a dove. Dove represent peace and not a very hawkish tone, right? They're saying the Fed is expected to release a new outlook for the economy, right? We already know that Jerome Powell has said several times that we will not return back to the old economy. So it's expected to be improved in the longer term because the availability, according to them, of the vaccines, the Fed, so they're not going to have a very aggressive tone, right? Very dovish tone, to end this meeting Wednesday afternoon. Don't want to get people in an uproar, right? However, but the bond market could have a bumpy reaction depending on what the central banks says about its bond buying program. Some investors expect the Fed to change the duration of bonds and its buying, which means the dollar will collapse even more. But it is expected to just detail guidelines that will make changes for the program. So the Fed will release this statement at 2 p.m. Again, Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, will hold this conference or this briefing at 2:30 p.m. on tomorrow, right? So this is through the Senate Banking Committee, the Quality Cares Act report. So I will be listening in on that. I may go live on tomorrow so we can talk and elaborate on what this means or will mean for the economy moving forward, right? Tiana says crypto is our important shift to a new digital age. Yes, this is the fourth industrial revolution, and so gotta be definitely know that AI. Another thing, since we are talking about um, the fourth industrial revolution and crypto age, how many of you all saw that Michael Jordan golf course now, right, to deliver beer with its drones, right? Is using drones to deliver beer. So for the people that laughed about, oh no, this is not artificial intelligence, um, you know, uh, no such things as robots replacing jobs. You crazy to think that it's 5G that's causing these sickness and illnesses, right? And well, I told you all that they had to have a stronger Wi-Fi in order to power these robots or drones to take the job of humans. So you have Michael Jordan's members only golf club is using drones to deliver drinks. His This is in Florida, 18 hole golf course. Um, and so yeah, delivering drinks and snacks to players on the course appropriately enough, right? So hey, these is taking the jobs of humans, right? These are taking the jobs of humans. There was also, let me see, can I find this while I'm live? It's something else I want to share with you all on Bitcoin. Let me see if I say that article as well. I'm glad for the people that stayed all the way to the end because you're getting some extra things. So let me share this as well about Bitcoin. Okay, Martin says he sees AI every day. Yeah, drone. Thank you so much, Mark. You see AI every day at the job. Wow, Mark, I can assume. So let's look at this article. Bitcoin investors are more bullish than ever. This is what I told you all beginning that IMF, the International Monetary Fund, calls for a new Bretton Woods, right? Bretton Woods system. So many people are calling this Bretton Woods 2.0. And Bitcoin price has stagnated over recent weeks. Despite this price action, the fundamentals for the cryptocurrency are rapidly increasing. Investors in Bitcoins got a boost just recently as the International Monetary Fund calls for a new Bretton Woods movement. Again, they do not want to go back to the gold standard, right? The first Bretton Woods agreement was in 1944 that integrated the gold standard and implemented a monetary world order. So, people, we are definitely entering into a new monetary world order. Analysis think this called for another Bretton Woods moment that will boost Bitcoins, right? It will boost Bitcoin. The details about this announcement were vague. However, Bitcoin bulls roar and it called for a new Bretton Woods movement. And this is what I saw. Today, we face a new Bretton Woods movement, a pandemic that has already cost more than 1 million lives. Or is it 5G? But anyway, an economic calamity that will make the world economy 4.4% smaller this year and strip that estimated 11 million trillion of output next year. Um, and so taking out Bretton Woods, this IMF article has a huge change coming back. But this is what I wanted to really show you all. Raul Paul, right? Follow him on Twitter. If you don't think that central bank digital currencies are coming, you are missing the big and important picture. This is going to be the biggest overhaul of the global financial system since Bretton Woods. Wow. And that's from 1944, right? And so again, okay, Martin, I think you have my uh, business phone number. Send me a video about that. You can text it to me. Uh, and for the people that's interested in a home-based business, you can also text me. Only if you're interested in a home-based business. Again, go to www.howtoshiftyourincome.com. I put that in the link. And just text me HBB for home-based business. You want to get passive income from home. You want to help people with their taxes, right? This is for the home-based business. Yeah, Marvin, it is here, right? So again, you can follow him on Twitter. Again, if you don't think the central bank's digital currency are coming, you are missing the big and important pictures, people. And I've been telling people since the beginning of this year, you're either going to be a part of the biggest wealth transfer that this generation has ever seen, or you're going to be a part of the biggest uh, poverty transfer, right? Look, Bitcoin just went up 0.5%. I'm looking at the notifications now. It's currently at 19,456, right? And so the change in 7 days, listen at this, has been 6.2%. But the last 30 days, Bitcoin has increased by 14.24%. That's the last 30 days. Paul says the currency could hit. This is just his prediction. I don't make predictions on what Bitcoin can hit. 100,000 and beyond this market cycle as Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies establish themselves as alternatives. He went as far as to say that the coin could summit goals market capital of 10 trillion of the years ahead, right? So wow. So you can't go wrong with crypto, with coins, which is physical gold and silver, and your corporation, which is this home-based business. Again, you want to earn extra income for home, text me at 601-720-2063. Do not text me tonight. It is approximately 8:48 my time. So I will not answer that tonight, but you can definitely text me between business hours, which is 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can get funding out or off AUs, or can you life insurance? Now I'm not quite sure what you're asking me is in that if I can get funded off of a. Oh, well, let me try to answer that. I guess you're saying if you get authorized trade lines right now, will you get approved for funding for credit right now before the digital dollars come transition or whatever? Um, I don't, that's because the resilience score is already here. So banks are already taking in consideration your income status, and your resilience score, right? Because they don't want to take on risky borrowers. So a credit, and I'm just going to make this simple, people. Even with authorized trade lines, um, that's an open-ended question because no, you won't get approved if you have negatives within the last 2 years, right? Um, Authorized trade lines is really for people with good credit who want to apply for higher credit limit cards, and it can position you because now you have a higher credit limit card reporting on your credit report. But that's not always the case, right? Because my daughter, she's 21. I have her on my higher limit as authorized users on my higher limit credit cards that have $25,000 credit limits. And she still, when she got her first Discover It card, she only got approved for the $5,000 credit limit. But that's because she had the $5,000 primary trade line, right? So you still have to have the payment history intact. You still have to have no negative within the last 2 years. You have to have a lengthy credit history profile. Um, and I don't know what type of lending that you're seeking, right? Or what type of approval. Everyone's guideline is different, right? Maybe for a vehicle, maybe you can, but for a mortgage, then maybe not. I don't know. It depends on your goals. It depends on your credit profile. Um, Okay, Jumbo, he says he's reading the book right now, How to Think in System. Next time I go live, give me more information, Jimbo, or what that book is about. Or you can definitely just go to my website and it's strolling down on the bottom and send me an email about how to think in systems. Go to the contact me. That's the number again. If you're interested in the home-based business, the website, watch those 3 videos. Do not text until you watch the 3 videos. Um, how to shift your income.com so you can understand the business and understand how it works. Hey, great news for your son. He's definitely in the right field moving forward. I'm saying banks are not accepting AU right now. This is what people understand. A lot of people are not getting approved right now that have authorized users because it shows on your credit report and credit profile that you are an authorized user. So a lot of people are getting denied right now. Even see, authorized users is just like secure credit card in a sense. Yes, they will increase your credit scores, but this does not mean you will get approved funding. There are people that have authorized users right now added on their credit profile that still are being denied for loans and credit, right? Hello, Mr. Mentor. Glad you came in. You're in at my ending, right? But just saying hello to you. Glad you came in. And so I hope this all help you, right? And moving forward, I'm going to talk about these four things: credit, crypto, right? Coins, which is gold and silver, and corporations, which is the home-based business. So here's to your peace and prosperity, your credit and your cash flow, your health and your wealth. Queen of Credit out. You all have a great night.